Alrighty, so let's get started. We're a nice big group today. Thank you for everyone joining. You'll see I've got Leah as well with Beryl. So let's just do a quick check-in. And we'll start with Anita. Sorry, Anita.
Morning, all. Really good to be back. Missed my meditation last week. All good this week. Yeah, I was just pretty tired last week and I just needed to sleep. But yeah, all good. Thank you.
Vanessa.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Yes, everything's good on this side. Good to see you. You're looking all very summery. Yes, I've missed you. I've had a good week. Lockdown is quite hectic here, so we can only go out to get groceries. Yeah, that gives me a lot of time to meditate and read, and that's been good. Glad to be back.
Good. Welcome back. Of course, yes.
Hi, everyone. I'm glad to join you. I'm happy to be joining today, and I hope everything goes well.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Dumi.
Hi, everyone. My week this week was quite hectic. I felt overwhelmed by every single thing and didn't really sleep much. I was tossing and turning, but I think on Friday was the first day that I actually managed to sleep. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to today's meditation. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to a better week as well.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Hi.
Barbara.
Hi. Nice to see you. Long time no see. Is that Lee?
Yes, it is. Hi, Barbara. How
are you? How are you keeping? I'm good as well. I've had a good week, and yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the satsang.
Thank you. And welcome. And then we get to Beryl.
Hi, everyone. I think I've lost track of time, but I've had a very good week. Thank you. Whatever has happened has fallen out the brain, so it's obviously been a good week. And I'm glad to be here, and we can all share something today. And Lee.
Hi. It's good to be here again. But my week's been very busy, and it was a bit crazy upside down, but this weekend's been very nice, and it's really nice to be here.
Thank you. And yeah, my week has been, my 2 weeks has been rough, and I've been triggered like nothing. I have experienced very dark and dense time, but I realized that I had to go into that feeling. I had to feel it. I had to experience whatever all that I had to experience to be able to, as when I come out, then I can share what I've gained or what I've realized, what I've understood. Because it feels like the fear just becomes more in the collective, the sense of powerlessness and all these various things, and a lot of base chakra issues, a lot around safety and security issues, a lot around sense of belonging or not. So a lot of fear, anxiety, a lot has been coming up for lots of people, and then also the heartache and pain associated to it. And I've realized that a lot of things are also childhood wounding, but we don't always realize what the childhood wounding is. And it's sometimes it's just what is in what we experienced, and things that we didn't see or acknowledge. So all these things are coming up for us to heal, to shift. And there's a number of things that we'll be sharing, but the first of them is we selected cards from the Power deck. Now, it's a beautiful it's cards of wisdom, and it's a shamanic deck. So we each drew a card today to pass on a message to you and give our interpretation of the cards. And I'll start first. So mine is there's the earth and there's a body of water, and the water is overflowing. The elm tree has red leaves. For me, the elm tree is sacred, but red is also associated with the base chakra, so it's base issues. Mother Earth is represented on this card, and the earth is in a body of water, and the water is overflowing in one of the banks. And one of the realizations that I've had is wherever we create these barriers, create these dam walls, what tends to happen is the water wells up, and we sometimes drown in the emotions, or I do. So I've been drowning in emotions this week. And it felt like the dam walls needed to break so that the water can flow out, so that I can get back into flow. So sometimes we need to see where are we withholding or holding back, where it's not flowing, and when we open up that flow, it can flow again. So there's a bow tied in the branch of the tree, and this card is 4, and 4 is earth energy, 4 is structure, 4 is carries those energies, and the card's heading is offering. And it says that every day of our lives, we take from Mother Earth our energy for life. We forget the ancient tradition of the sacred giveaway. We take a moment to sit in silence and counter the magnificent things that we have in this life. Even if only the wondrousness of being given life. Reflect on the Great Mother, Mother Earth. Ask yourself, what have I given back to her lately to heal her? Then think of the higher vision of life and balance on this earth, and realize that the greatest gift you can give to this earth and to your fellow humans is that of your own enlightenment. In this way, you tear away the veils of ignorance and present the magnificence of your being to everyone who experiences you. Everyone around you is lifted and inspired. This is your offering. And it feels true to me. So the South card, and it's a red. In the shamanism, there's north, south, east, west. So this is south energy, and it is. It's to see what we can offer back to the world, what we can give back, and sometimes we don't. We don't understand the preciousness that our gifts that we give back, that our offering is, and it's Beryl was reminding me this week of, remember your magnificence. I see your magnificence. Don't necessarily believe the lies and the stories that you tell yourself or whatever. So it's for us just to be reminded that we've got everything. It's to get back to gratitude. And we're going to talk a lot about gratitude and shifting the vantage point of that which has been irking us, paining us, scratching us, polishing us up. So it's, so that's my part.
Mine is magic. Some stars and the galaxy, moon, I think it's been a bit of a theme that's been going on from the end of last year. This last year was definitely the year of deconstruction, coming apart. So I've been working on putting everything back together, and it's happened quite literally from literally putting my house back together and restructuring my life. And magic came up earlier this week as well. Actually did a healing, and it was all about alchemy and magic and finding magic in life and keeping it. So my card is a 36, which is 9, which I think is endings.
Yes.
And magic, it's Eastern yellow. So solar plexus, which makes sense. And east of the rising sun. And we had the phoenix, we were working with the phoenix last night. So if you do not believe in magic, your life will not be magical. Magic, like the power of Stonehenge, is part of the unknowable, that which you cannot describe, but which exists and makes your life extraordinary. It is part of the goodness of your spirit. It is that mysterious and intriguing part of your spiritual life. Magic is what we are all looking for, but if you try to hold it and name it and describe it, you will lose it. You must talk around magic, describe what led you there, and give thanks for that part of the universe that is unknowable and full of color and strength and magic. Out of relationship comes magic. Out of the friction of forgetting and remembering comes magic. Out of the mists of dawn and the mysteries of creation comes the magic that we call life. Out of your passion for existence comes magic. So it's quite apt. It's about learning to find the magic which comes from gratitude, and realizing that even when it's not nice, afterwards there's magic.
Something that came up for me this week was we always knew how to handle the energies. The ancient civilizations understood the stars, understood alchemy, understood everything. It was natural. It was when you connected to earth people, the traditionals, the shamans, all those, they knew how to access magic, to use magic. Sometimes when it's done with ill intent or whatever, it's been made bad. But it is all those times of feeling fearful of accessing your magic. It's now to step forward and being, and that was my thing last year, it's fully embracing the alchemist that I am and fully coming into that, guilt-free, fearful-free, everything like that, just being that.
I really appreciate that, because that came up, it's 2 weeks ago now. And we are working in an Africa healing group, which we're quite shocked because I didn't know where it came from. So working with it that following week, but a lot had to do, now my daughter's quite into witchy things and things like that, and I've always kind of had a, not that I wouldn't do it, but I've just veered away. And it was a past life that came up. But exactly what you're saying, it was that shut off and fear. But it was coming to terms with that and realizing that that's where all those blocks came from that I didn't even know were there. Thank you. Yes, it's a big part of it. Okay.
It's accepting stepping into your power and doing it, because this time around we feel come with different energies and awareness, and it's to use our enlightenment and share. The gift is use the magic of enlightenment. Thank you. Beryl, what does your card say? Tell us.
Firstly, I've got Western Black. Those things mean sweet thoughts to me.
It's just like, I'll tell you.
Okay. And don't forget to remind me what 6 is.
So 15
Yeah.
is alchemy, is the alchemist. So that's why it's transformation. 6 is in the positive, it's the best of humanity, and in the negative, it's the worst of humanity. So it's alchemizing from the worst to the best.
All right. Mine is transformation. Rather a lovely card, and it reminds me of something I put on the portal the other day. I'm not sure if it was this week or last week or whatever. Was we have photographs in our mind that we take continually, and sometimes we stick to the negative of it instead of printing the photograph, which is our true self. And we so often just stick to the old negative, and as it fades, so that our idea of life gets dimmer and dimmer. But if we take a new photograph and print our negative into a beautiful new photograph, we will see the transformation that we are moving into. And this is how our lives are. As we drop the old ideas, we can see the new magnificence of what we are and create a new world for ourselves and a new way of looking at things. So yes, I think this is quite a wonderful card. And this one reads, the power of your intent leads you around the sacred wheel of endeavor. Begin today with trust and innocence in the early hours. Imagine a quiet pond and see the reflection of your true self, which is the good photograph. At noon, take a moment and close your eyes and dream. Imagine the transformation that this day offers you so you can improve on it again. Seek the strength and wisdom through your ability to love, to bring this transformation into action and into the words you speak. At night, give thanks for the illumination you have found. Know that the form of your intent leads you to the power of transformation. And again, we get down to gratitude. The more we express gratitude for something, the more it expands, and that is alchemy. So I think we've got to get down to being grateful for everything, and again, to see our magnificence instead of the shadow self. There was a picture of a shadow human being and a light human being. And the original one said that we are the light, we must stop being the shadow. And I thought, let's turn that picture around and be the light and then the shadow. And if there is nothing standing between the light and anything else, it cannot form a shadow. So it is pure, it is magnificent. We don't have to put things or barriers or objects in front of our light. We just need to shine our light, and therefore then we won't have a shadow. So that's just my thought on this.
So on the medicine wheel, there's 4 directions, and each direction has a teaching. So with West, it symbolizes the sacred dream, death and rebirth, and transformation. So that's the energy that West brings. So I want you just to think of something that you would like to shift today. Because as a collective, we are going to shift this in collective. Our offering to the world will be our enlightenment about something that has either been a thorn in your flesh, or something that you have had a judgment of, or something that has been triggering you, or something that you judge yourself about, that there either must be something wrong with you because you're not like the others, or you don't do as the others, or why have others acted a certain way from us? Because in our life, our greatest betrayals, our greatest losses, our greatest heartache and pain comes from those that loves us. Now, when you read the Journey Home, that is a very beautiful book. It's one of Crown's books, and it's a parable. And I've shared it on the Telegram group. In there, it's you get to understand that it's with loved ones, people, soul family. It's our loved ones that stands in front of us before this incarnation and say, I love you so much, I will give you this experience. I will give you this experience of betrayal. I will give you this experience of feeling not worthy. I'll give you this experience of heartache and pain. If this is what you came to learn, if this is what you came to heal, I honor your choice. And it's one thing that I was part of my processing this week. And it is just to think about the statement. It's not done to us. It's not done to me. It is done for me. So sometimes we think something is done against us. Something is like not working for us. Something has been put onto us, and it's the same thing with. It's not others making us sick. It's us making us sick. So when there's a fear that others can do you harm, or others can give you an illness or a virus or whatever, you fear that. And it's not to fear that, because everything has to do with vibration, and everything has to do with where you are at. So the best thing that we can do is shift it within ourselves so that we at our highest vibration, not believe the other stories. So are you ready to voice what you would like to shift today? What has been irking you? And we're just going to put it in sort of out there. I'll start. For me, what I've realized was when something bad happens to us, and something bad happens to all of us, and none of us are free from some kind of horrible traumatic experience. So there's various processes to it. The first one is you have to sort of see it for what it is, then get to forgive the other, then forgive yourself, and then accept. But there's something after that, through all the processes that we go through. The last and transformative magical process is gratitude. Gratitude for that person, for what they've done, for fulfilling their contract, for you learning the lesson that you needed to learn. If you're not at gratitude, it still plays out in your life. It will still either be on your mind, or it still will be a thorn in your flesh, or it will still be. So whatever you haven't managed to get to gratitude for the worst things that has ever happened to you, I'm talking about the worst things, then it's not fully shifted. And that is the ones I want us to shift today. Our deepest, darkest fears, or the traumas, or abuse, or whatever it is.
I agree totally with that, because I found a big shift in two things. One, what I took as an abusive husband, And he was a perfectionist in everything he did. And I'm now able to say, thank you. You did your job well with me. Because you came and you taught me probably the biggest lesson that I could, and now be able to say thank you instead of it's your fault. So that was a big thing for me. And of late, I think I shared with you all about this lady in the park who was accusing me and my friend of things that were really not true and everything else. And I had got myself into such a state about it where I thought I was going to have a heart attack at some time. And then when I sent her love, instead of being angry with her, and I, in my mind's eye, lit the candles, and they were all the magic candles that if they blew out, they relit. And it was all candles of love and everything else. And that was wonderful. And eventually she was able to greet me, even if it was like a tin soldier. Yesterday, the lady who was accused with me came and said how this woman was still abusing and accusing everybody else. And I realized that I had healed my situation and I was no longer part of that. And realized that wherever this type of thing comes up, and it's tried a couple of times, I have been able to send that other person the love and move on. And I think it's extreme gratitude for the lessons I've learned from that. So thank you.
Anybody else who would like to share or voice something major that they would like to shift? Or see from a different perspective, or heal, or clear, or understand, or transmute?
No, I was just thinking while you were talking that all the people who throughout my life have been here lovingly trying to teach me something, the lesson has been the same. If you think about it, that there's a theme that runs throughout all those experiences for me, and it's the theme of not being good enough, not achieving my full potential. I think that's been the feeling. So it's sort of almost a feeling of guilt, like you can do better. That used to always be on my school report. Barbara can do better. And I was trying as hard as I could, actually. I wasn't able to try any harder. So, yeah. So that, and it's been sort of throughout my life. It's been more or less that theme that I've had to try and shift. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you think the outcome of those lessons would be? So when the lesson is learned, what is the result?
Well, the result is well, if I think I can do better or try harder or whatever, then I do. But, I'm one of these people that really does sort of go the extra mile anyway, because of this feeling of constantly not being good enough. Otherwise, I tend to feel in some way guilty, because I feel like maybe I've let that person down in some way.
Okay, so what I want you to do within the meditation is get to realize the truth that you did your best and that is enough. With everything and everyone, you did exactly as you were supposed to. Everything was on script. Everything was perfect.
Okay.
Although there's always a room for improvement with all of us, at any given moment we do our best. But while you still have any inkling of so much of belief system that still says that you can do better, it's still not good enough, there will be another, because that I'm not good enough lesson line is a line with 100 people or 1,000 people, how many ever you might need. So they come up, they teach it to you. The teaching is not to believe that which they come and tell you, but believe the opposite to be the truth and whole truth and nothing but the truth. So it's to thank and be grateful for that person to make you realize what lie you are living within yourself. Because while we have something, a belief system within us, we magically attract that experience and that person to us. The faces and the names changes, but the experience stays the same. But the experience isn't the experience that we think, it's the opposite. So it's it's to become aware of the lies that you've been the lies that you adopted from others and then made your own. And it's not the truth. And when we get to the truth, it's the truth that sets us free. And that's why while you still think, oh, I need to learn this lesson is that it wasn't the truth in the first place. You said there was nothing more that you could do. You did do your best. It's now to know that that was enough.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was that feeling of knowing that I couldn't do more than I was doing. Because it's also a question of, some people are just, they learn better than others. It's just a limit to what people are. And I always try to do everything to the limit that I can. And I always used to wonder why it was that nobody could appreciate me. It was always expected that I should do more.
Okay.
But as you very rightly say, the opposite is actually true. So I don't have to feel bad.
Barbara, print your negative.
Okay. Okay. Right. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
I think a lot of that, Barbara, I really feel empathize with you. Is when we learn to accept ourselves inside.
Yeah.
That then it, which is hard. Which I'm still learning to do. And I just that beginning of this year something happened as well, and there was suddenly that complete feeling of complete acceptance and completely being okay, which is probably the first time in my life I've ever felt that. And it was such a release and such freedom and I think it was given to me to realize how it feels. Then that's the place I want to be. It doesn't matter about the rest. I don't know. It does that self-love and self-acceptance, that self-worth.
That's what it is. It's self-love. It goes back to that. Yeah.
It's like people that come and teach us worthiness. They make us feel unworthy. But it's to realize that we've been worthy all this time. It's not to believe that. So, and it's the same with self-worth, with being accepted or not accepted. Wherever there is still part of us that believes any lies, there will be others that comes to mirror. And that is, while I was in the shower this morning, Snow White, so the queen goes and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful in the world or whatever. And she knows the truth. She knows she's not the most beautiful. But she doesn't like the message that she receives from the mirror, because she wants to hear that she's the most beautiful, but she knows she's not. We compare, okay? So when a mirror in our life comes up and we don't like the reflection, we don't like what it's telling us, we want to brush it off. We want to take it away. We want to either annihilate it. We want to, if we eliminate that, then I can feel good about myself. I can't feel good about myself while I'm still comparing myself to this one. So this one is so good or so beautiful or so this. So let me just take them away because I don't like the mirror. The mirror is telling me that I am not good enough. I'm not as good as she is. So if I take her away, then I can now be the good one because I guess I'm second in line. And that is what unconscious behaviors and unconscious people do. It's like if I make you bad, then I can feel good. And it's to see it for that energy. It's just a mirror. And not everybody's going to like your reflection. Not everybody is going to participate in that. Not everybody's going to like that. So, and it's not for you. Oh, they didn't like, I'm going to say, me being good. They didn't like what apparently I didn't do enough. Although you did so much. The same with Beryl's experience in the park. It's like, all the good that you did, let me make it bad so that I can feel better about myself. It's all ego projections, and it's not to fall for that because it's, and that's why my guides, the core message will always be know thyself. Know thyself and be true to yourself. And when we are, we can shift it because it's only the truth that can set us free. And we need to start realizing, but what is the truth? Because it's the lies and stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah. So in other words, it's sort of seeing, in my case, myself always through the eyes of somebody else and never through my own eyes, basically.
Yes. See your magnificence. Because what they're seeing is not the truth about Barbara.
Okay.
And that brings me to the second point that I want to make, and a realization that I had was to have a partnership with God. When we, I want to say, partner with humans, be it in business, be it in relationships, be it in whatever else, there's going to be there's some things that gets experienced, and sometimes we take to heart that which they say or that which what they do, and it's not always pleasurable experiences. But it is possibly that our relationship with God is not at its best. And the only relationship that actually truly matters is our relationship with God. Because when we get that right, we get to start experiencing God everywhere. We see God in everything. When we feel we're not good enough in the eyes of the Lord, we failed, we're not getting things right, we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we don't deserve His forgiveness, we don't deserve His love, we don't deserve any of this, then we judge ourselves. And then what happens? More people in that line comes up to give you that reflection. When you get this relationship with God and this partnership with God right, and realize that He's a forgiving God, a loving God, accepting God, I'm saying He, it's He, she, God, the energy, is when we were part of that energy, we are particles of God coming to have this experience. So why would God have a judgment against itself? Because we are part of that energy. So it's to shift that to the next level, to really know and to start seeing ourselves through the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah. And
then we realize that we are the love. We are part of that acceptance. We are everything. And that is where one unity consciousness and awareness comes from. Yes, Nandumi.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi. Okay. Fiona, I've got a question on my side, because I would have good days, and I can go on for a while, knowing who I am to God, knowing the truth about myself. But then when certain situations come up, or I'm triggered by certain things, then I start, not really that I don't believe, yeah, I start then believing the lies. Okay, does this keep on happening because deep down I still don't believe the truth about myself, or I still don't really believe who I am to God?
Yes. It comes with indoctrination, especially in the religious fields, and the many lifetimes that we've had where we believe the church and everything that the church says. You're a sinner, you're this, you need to be meek, you need to pray for forgiveness, you need to, you are, I'm going to say this bad thing, where a lot of people will say, you're just humanizing now. There's so many judgments about our humanizing, and when we have human experiences, and that's why with spirituality and with starting to follow this path where you understand it actually at a deeper level, there's a lot of unlearning that needs to take place. So say for instance, there's this much energy needs to be shifted. Now first you just you believe it, say 10%. Then more examples will come up. Then you shift it and you believe it to 20%. Then more examples will come up. Then you believe it like 30. When you fully get it, when you're fully in that energy, there's nothing that can come up more to show you that, because there's nothing to be mirrored. So every of those experiences is just another experience and another opportunity for you to heal deeper. Because there's a lot of unlearning that needs to take place on our psyche, on our emotions, on our mental state, on our spiritual state. There's a lot of lies, and this year is the year of the throat chakra, a 5-year. It's a let the truth set you free. What lie programs equals fear programs are still running. And it's not just running for the individuals, it's running for the collective. Lies are being told. Fears are being projected. So it's not to buy into that. It's not to believe that. So it's when the next lie comes up and you've fallen for it, be grateful that you've had the awareness that you've fallen for another lie, and then transmute that lie.
Yes, thank you.
The next realization that I would like to share is Crown keeps on saying, in love with humanity. And I sat with that energy. I sat with that, how does it feel to be in love with humanity? Because it's nice to be in love with the ones that we love, but how is it to be to love and accept the ones that we have judgments against? How bad, how of this worst of humanity, how can you love the worst of humanity? And it is while you have projections and anger and judgments against that, you tie yourself into that dance and you're going to experience that. It's to just drop all the judgments. The persecutors come here to persecute because they come here to play a role. As the book that we read last year about the greatest human potential, it says that there's no victim. And anybody that comes and plays in a drama triangle, doesn't matter if it's a persecutor or whoever comes to play in those drama triangles, Everybody feels like a victim. Everybody feels like that it was done onto them. And it's again, coming back to the first statement, it's done for us to change. We need to change. And that's one thing that I realized this week, that I needed to shift, because every time I change something on the spiritual, there will be a physical manifestation. Every time. So I've been shifting and shifting and shifting, and then there will be a physical change. So most of you know that I've moved a couple of houses. So the one lady said, the person that I know is moving the most of everybody that I know. Then I was thinking, so what's wrong with me? And as I was washing the dishes, I realized, okay, now just keep on changing. And my environment needs to change to reflect the previous change. And I need to realize what it is that I needed to let go of to move into that change. So sometimes we make a judgment about ourselves because we're not like others. And we're not supposed to be like others. We just need to find our true, authentic self and be okay with that and flow with that. Not have a judgment because it is the way it's supposed to be, the way that it is. And if we transform and transmute and change, change will be mirrored in our environment. So how good are we at accepting that change?
You've just given me the most comforting thought ever. I don't have to move because I am already home.
Yes.
So, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you. It flashed through. I am already home. So
yes.
Just be grateful.
Yes.
I am so grateful for what you've just said. I have it all. Yes, yes. Yes. All the things that home encompasses.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And Beryl said last week's meditation, as you realized that all that you connect with is everywhere. And sometimes we think we have to go to a place. Like there's certain things you have to go to a church and then you get a message, or you find spirit somewhere. But spirit is a constant and with us. And it's just to walk in that truth, walk in that partnership, walk with that trust, that faith in the direction that you need to go. And just stop the fear programs that has been running. Another realization that I had was if I looked at my childhood wounding, it was never done directly onto me. Nothing, I think, bad happened to me, or that I'm aware of. It's what I saw family did to family. So when we come and we love, we are these beings of love. We come from source in our purest energy, and we just are connected to in love and with all our loved ones. When they at war with one another, when they do these bad things at one another and cut people out of the family and all the bad that family does to family. That was my personal experience. I'm not saying it's your experience, but that was my experience. It hurts the one that loves everyone. Because you think, how can you be like this? We're supposed to love one another. And I'm taking this further. On this earth plane, we are all family. Doesn't matter our color, our caste, our creed, our position, our race, our anything. We are all family. We are all God's family. We are all part of that source energy. And how do we treat one another? And let it start with you. Don't be as others do and as others be. Be as you are. Be the loving, compassionate. And that's when you feel, it's like I can feel the symbiotic relationship with the earth, with humanity. I feel everything connected. And when I have to withhold or withdraw or cut off, it feels like a part of me dies. And I realize that all I need to do is just accept that love will flow to another, accept that the energy will flow, that it's in our thinking that we need to save ourselves and cut and do all these things. It's not always right and appropriate, because we are this connected union, connected with source, and whatever we do to one, we do to ourselves, because we're connected to this web of energy. So whatever is done to others is also done unto ourselves. And that's why in the Bible it says, treat others how you want to be treated. So it starts with you. Be that part of source that you are proud of. Be that loving, compassionate being that you truly are, regardless of what others does. It's just that they're just in the level that they are now. So that brings me back to the card of offering. When we become enlightened, when we shift these, that is our gift to humanity. The awareness that we bring, not the judgments that we bring.
Hi, Fiona. I just have a question. So I agree when you say we need to be that love. What happens when we've behaved in certain ways that we're not proud of because it was coming from inner child wounding that you didn't understand at the time? So how do you go about forgiving yourself for behaving in a certain way, which would have resulted in the end of a relationship or a person now having a negative impression of you?
Okay, that is an excellent question. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think that is one that most people wonder from time to time. So, when we come to have experiences with the other, whoever the other is, it is that something is to come out of this. There's a lesson for them, there's a lesson for you. And in most of our beginning experiences, we attract ones with similar childhood woundings. And the one mirrors the childhood wounding and the other one mirrors the childhood wounding back. And you mirror this energy. And then the relationship breaks off, and it's for you now to take the lesson. The mistakenly thinking is that this mirroring that has gone on was wrong. This mirroring that gone on was bad. This mirroring that went on was flawed, and now this person only believes this. You can only see in another something that is within yourself. And when you truly accept that and forgive that it was part of the plan, how it was to play out. What others think is none of our business. Because what others think says a lot about others. The judgments that we make, we get judged at. That judgment is still within themselves. Best you release the judgment that there was any wrongdoing in the first place. It happened as it should have happened. It happened in the time that was allotted for that. It's now to take the gift. While you think this is still a wrongdoing and a wrong experience and there was a wrong outcome because it was supposed to be happily ever after. And we were supposed to be this loving, compassionate beings and just grow in this love. If that was meant to be the outcome, it would have been the outcome. If it wasn't, if there was just a lesson that a soulmate came to teach us, it's now to take that lesson. And the lesson is not to believe that what was said unto you, meaning that you are this bad person, or that you're not worthy of loving, or it's difficult to love you, or you are so this or so that. A lot of what they said applies to them. And a lot of what you said applies to you. So it is now to take that to the next level. And in this meditation that we're going through, it's to truly now get to the feelings of gratitude for them coming into your life, for the period that they did, for the lessons that you've learned, and for the life programs that are shifting and changing now due to that.
Thank you.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
It was something that I was thinking of while you were talking. It could also be that that you may have come into this situation and into this relationship or whatever in order to teach somebody else something that they needed to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's always dual. It's never one-sided. It never benefits just the one. There's a gift for each one. And while we're not getting the gift, another will come to teach them that lesson. But when we finish with that, we can move on. And this is the difficulty. Acceptance that you have the freedom to move on, because there is an attachment to the past, attachment to that, because there was a feel good feelings and there was a feel bad feelings, and you want to say, oh no, let's just dismiss the feel bad feelings and the bad that has happened or whatever. Let's just how much attached are you still to the outcomes that you wanted or created, and it's now to truly let that go. Because in your highest wisdom, everything happens for your highest good. And you keep on pre-planning things with people. And that's why there's not predestination. It's not that you have to go through these 100 steps, right?
100 steps or whatever.
Yeah. It is, you will do this until you get it. And then you can have other experience. And then there's other role players that would like to mirror that to you. But whatever gets triggered within you, and sometimes we can trigger ourselves. It's while we play the blame game, that is where we can't heal it. While you think it's the other that made me like this, it's the other that caused me to do this. It's the other. It's not the other. It's self. It's self-inflicted. And it's just like, oh, there's another part of me that needs healing, that needs accepting. I need to be grateful for this.
Sorry, Fiona. So, Fiona, once we realize the lesson, so the next step is the meditation that will allow us to move forward. Am I correct?
So today, the biggest thing that I want you to get to is a gratitude for that person. Gratitude for that lesson.
Okay. No, thank you so much. Yes, so this is these gifts that you talk about. Gee whiz, I don't really like these gifts. I wish it was different.
Anita, give me an example.
It's just in life. I mean, as you say, there are lots of lessons, individuals that come into your life, whether they're nasty or even if it's somebody that's good. As you say, there's a lesson you're learning. So I'm actually now constantly aware, okay, there's a lesson here. What's the lesson? It's just for me, I think my issue is sitting down and letting go of or accepting the lesson and letting go of it. So I'm hoping, and this meditation would be the tool that I need to have going forward with all the lessons that I might be presented with or have been presented or will be presented with. Because I think for me, your meditation is filling my toolbox. And I need to really know, okay, with this experience, I need to have this tool. So that's why I always like to clear that, okay, I need to do this step after this. So yeah, it's a bit vague, but it's just getting the tool. I just need to know the tool.
And that's why just the processing, and that's why we're talking out loud, so that we can realize whatever we need to realize. But the thing that I want to get to is nothing was wrong. While we still think it ended wrong, this was the wrong outcome. Whatever that I did bad in my previous lifetime that I deserved this bad experience, whenever there's still a judgment, it's not so much forgiving the other, because as that book of the greatest human potential said, there's actually nothing to forgive because they did nothing wrong. We make it wrong. While we make it wrong, there's a judgment. While there's a judgment, we are entangled in that energy, and it will show up and show up until we realize, oh, we interpreted it as wrong, but it wasn't wrong. Because whatever we needed to experience from that experience, we need to get that. And then we need to accept that. And then we have to have gratitude for that person. So, say for instance, as a soul, we are this pure light, pure love, okay? Now we have these human cloths, human bodies that we wear. And it's accumulated the dust over the eons that we've lived. We've accumulated false beliefs about ourselves. We are not worthy, we're not good enough, we are this. Now we say, okay, we're going to come in this earthly experience and we want to release these false beliefs. So, one, how are we to be alerted that we have a false belief about that we are not worthy? If we don't have an experience, if everybody treats us well, will we be alerted that that is within us? No. We'll be oblivious to it, and we'll just go on la 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 la, and just think we are happy, but and never shift it, and never clear it, and never heal it. Now somebody comes and say, you know what? I love you so much. I'm going to give you this feeling of betrayal, or feeling of bitterness, or feeling of unworthiness, or feeling of this. So you can be reminded that that is something that you came to release in this lifetime. Now, that bad thing that has happened has created this good thing of you releasing it. So now that you've released it, can you see that there wasn't anything bad that happened in the first place? Because if you truly see the gift, you can't see it as wrong anymore. Because, as I said again, it comes back to that saying, it's not done to you. It was done for you. Where's the gratitude that it's done for you? And so I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to just make you see it differently.
No, thank you so much. Made a lot of sense. Thank you.
Hi to everyone. There's a point where just now we just said there are feelings of unworthiness, even if something good is happening to you, and then there's feeling of unworthiness because of your past experiences. And then if deep down they are still there, there'll always be someone who will come and remind you that all this thing is just like will trigger those not necessarily like actually tell you or do something, but will trigger those feelings of unworthiness in you. And that has happened to me a lot, because sometimes good things happen to you, but it's like it's happening in and out, like it's something, it's someone else. It's like you're just watching. So even if everything is going it's going great, you just, there's this feeling that I have inside, that's just like a shift. No matter how I'm always I'm always like grateful, I have ritual, I do everything, but there's when everything is going so good, and like I'm getting stuff, and I'm feeling, I think I'm feeling worthy, but there's something subconsciously or a feeling that I just get, like it's like is this really me? It's like it's something I'm watching someone else, and I can't really then go to gratitude. Like when I try to shift to gratitude, I don't feel like that. I know how it feels to be grateful, but it just doesn't. I worry, maybe 2 days later I'll feel grateful, but when that action happens, like I worry, like there's a worry in me that just comes up. I don't know.
Can I share some? A picture that comes to mind now. Yes, you say it could take 2 days or something before you show gratitude, but you are able to show gratitude. But I'm seeing it rather like a motor car that gets a flat tire. Now we have a spare in the boot, and as long as we keep going on the flat tire, this keeps repeating and repeating. Stop the car, show your gratitude that you have a spare, take it out and put it on the car, and then your car can go smoothly again. And it's a matter of changing. It's not easy, let's be honest. Sometimes it takes years to do. But it's time we stopped the car, changed the tire, and went on a smoother road. There's always potholes somewhere that will give us another puncture somewhere along the line. But as long as our spare is there, we can change it. So that's just a thought that came. And the other thing that came when someone else was talking is our toolbox is always full from the divine. So whatever we need, we can go to our toolbox of the divine and have the answer. So that's another just picture that came to mind.
Anita says thank you for the love. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And another thing, I do, when it happens, I do like say an affirmation of gratitude. I do voice it out, but the feeling, I know how it feel. I know the feeling that I should have, but it's just not there. That's the feeling that comes 2 days later. It's not that I'm not grateful at that particular moment, but the feeling. It's the fear.
Feeling gratitude for something that somebody did in 2015 against me. I'm only there now, so it's taken me longer than 2 days. So 2 days is quick. Sometimes we come here to clear things that we've held for lifetimes. So depending on the intensity of that emotion, and mine is being annihilated for the work that I do. So my wounding is from past lives when I was a light worker, being killed for it. And I've had experiences in this lifetime where there was negative energies projected, and that outcome was sort of energetically felt, but still going on. But for me, only now I am in gratitude, realizing, oh, that wasn't mistakenly done. It wasn't. It wasn't a wrongdoing. It was done for me to release the wounding of being annihilated in the past for the light work that I bring. People not liking it and wanting it to stop. So I am now grateful that that has been brought to the surface so I can see it for what it is and not what my perceptives that I believed it to be. So some things we can shift in directly if it's the first time we experience it. Somebody says you're stupid and you've never experienced stupid, and you think that was stupid for them for saying I'm stupid, and you release it. If there's nothing of that that has been previously brought in, then it's easily to let go. But it's things that we've lived through lifetimes in this experience, where it carries a heavy energy, and sometimes those heaviest energies, it takes a little bit longer to shift it. But that is what I want to gift. My offering to you today is to help you shift that, even if it's just perceptively. In DeMartini's breakthrough experiences, he says when you shed a tear of gratitude for that whoever have done something against you, when you're truly grateful, you have your breakthrough. And if you get it today, you get it today. If you get it, if you listen to this in the future and you get it then, cool. But I'm putting that energy, that opportunity out there for this now. And the now can be forever, how long it is. But it is available. And when we are ready, we get it. And then we understand it. And then we can shift it.
And then you never have to face it again.
Yes.
It's finished.
Yes.
You know, also...
okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was just thinking,
thank you.
I also I used to experience that if things were going really well, and it all came down to feeling unworthy. So if a whole lot of good things were happening, I used to worry that, first of all, I didn't deserve it. So that was hard. Yeah, it's hard to feel grateful when you think that you don't deserve it anyway. And then then there would come fear that something bad was going to happen to follow it, because I didn't really deserve all the good stuff.
Wow.
And so I can completely understand where that lady who was talking just now comes from. So you can't really feel gratitude whilst you're feeling fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And in the option programs, we can opt for love or fear. And anything, any, I want to say, bad emotion that we get to feel is based in fear. The root of any not feel good emotion is rooted in fear. There's a fear behind it. Fear of living, fear of not living, fear of accomplishing, or fear of not accomplishing, fear of everything is based in fear. And today I want us to release the fears as much as we can, but conscientize, become aware of at least the biggest one that, as I said, has either been a thorn in your flesh, or that you have had the biggest judgment, or that's irritation, or where you can't currently experience gratitude for what has happened. Just allow yourself the opportunity to see it for what it was, and not for the mistakenly thinking that you actually had about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Most of our fears are made on assumptions.
Yes. And those are lies. And it's whatever lies or fear programs are still running in your life, allow those to be magically transformed. That is the offering today.
We shall want.
Remember, we all have our ones in our toolkits.
I'm just having a go.
Okay, are you ready for the meditation? So I want you just all to become comfortable. Closing your eyes, breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. With each in-breath, taking in the levels of consciousness and awareness that's available to you now. And release all that no longer serves you, in order for you to becoming lighter and lighter, shining brighter and brighter. And I want you just to, in your own mind, set your intent for what you would like to transmute today. Either what's known or unknown. And then just take 3 slow, deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Becoming more and more relaxed, more and more ease, more and more peace. Becoming aware that one fear has just triggered off another fear and another fear, and everyone has been triggered by these fear programs. And for a moment, just bring yourself towards yourself. Just detach, release, let go of the collective thinking. And feeling. I want you to visualize yourself stepping into the most beautiful garden with lush green grass, tall, majestic trees, and a river flowing through it. I want you to breathe in the peace and the harmony that resides within this garden. Taking in slow, deep breaths. Feeling totally safe and secure within this garden. Becoming more and more relaxed, more and more ease, more and more peace. I want you to visualize yourself now walking along the pathway, along the river, to the opening where there's a stone circle. I want you to go and stand at the center of the stone circle, calling in your highest teachers and guides, your team of light to surround you. And able to shift all the disharmonious energies, thought forms, experiences on this sweet earth. To transform it into light and to set it free, let it be. Well, now the outside of the circle, of the stone circle, all your adversaries stand. All with whom you've had conflict, all who betrayed, lied, cheated, everyone that you have a perception of making you feel bad. And they're going to come in one at a time. I want you just to have a brief discussion with them and wait for the gratitude to well up inside of you for them coming to teach you the lessons that they came, and only seeing them as the role players that you've called in at your highest levels of wisdom to come and teach you actually the opposite of what you thought they were telling you. I want you to realize that now. Realize it within each fiber of your being. and shift all the fear programs that has come with this and this experience with this individual. You're realizing your strength, how strong you actually are, in you realizing your worth, how worthy you actually are, in you realizing your love, how loved you actually are, in you realizing that you are enough, given enough, been enough all this time. Transmute all the angst, anxiety, fears, and lie programs that was attached to this experience. And take the pearl of wisdom and put it on a chain around your neck. Thank them. Even give them a hug of appreciation if it feels right for you. And see them leave the stone circle and leave the space. Now the next individuals comes to stand in front of you one at a time. Thank them for the gratitude to well up within yourself and truly thank them. Accept the gift and accept the learning, and take the pearl of wisdom and put it around the chain around your neck. They leave the circle and they exit the space. The next individual steps forward. And you do the same until there's no one left to enter the circle. All the cycles that needed to come to a close, see how inappropriateness this has come to this now. All the patterns that we've been running on, it's now time for a pattern change. So allow all these old patterns, there's old ways of thinking, there's old ways of believing, there's old ways of thought forms, actions and reactions, allow them all to be transmuted in this now moment. There is only love. Then gate one that came to make your lens a crystal clear lens. All the pressure that you've been placed under for you to become a diamond, to shine your light ever so brightly, to stand in your truth, to stand in your magnificence. Release all energies from the base chakra around fears, anxieties, stresses, not a sense of belonging. All safety and security issues, all that make you fearful. Just detach, release, and let go. Let them now. Allow all those energies within the roots now to be transmuted. Allow this golden light to go down the roots and transmute all the light programs now, all the fear programs into golden light. Alchemize that energy. And as it goes down into our roots, this enlightenment and this wisdom now is spread along the crystalline grid of this earth to each and every human that is ready for this now, to receive the enlightenment and the wisdom, and to also shift for greater empowerment, being more compassionate, kind, and loving. Become aware of this unity grid, us all being connected, all being particles of God and God consciousness. Feel everyone as brothers and sisters of you. Feel your beautiful relationship with Mother Earth, the symbiotic relationship, her sending you beautiful energies, the fresh air to fill your lungs, to give you life, the water, the food. Bless Mother Earth now with your energy. Bless the waters of this earth with your energy. Bless all the animals on this earth with your energy. And bless each human on this earth now with your energy. Allowing the God in you to see the God within everything and everyone. Allowing yourself now to view yourself through your master eyes, through God's eyes. And truly forgive yourself for each experience. For each experience was chosen. So there's actually nothing to forgive yourself, but unburden yourself of any guilt or shame caused by these experiences. Conscientize all that has been unconscious. For it all has led you to this now moment in its perfection. Drop all judgments. Allow yourself just to sink in and link in with the flow of life as you flow in love. Breathe in peace and harmony within your heart. Breathe in peace and harmony within your roots. Breathe in safe and secure feelings. Breathe in peace and harmony and enlightenment within your mind. And breathing in truth within your throat chakra. Know thyself and the truth about yourself. Allowing the pearls of wisdom around your neck now to integrate within your throat chakra. As it transmutes now all the light programs. And it is done. Breathing in 3 times. And slowly come back into the space, into your body, into this now. Fully integrated. And visualize the most beautiful silver golden bubble of light coming down the front of your body, the back of your body, the left side and the right side of your body, and gently tuck beneath your feet, 2 to 3 feet below you. Visualize a grounding cord in a color of your choosing from the base of the silver golden bubble of light. Take it within the earth. Link it on the crystalline grid of this earth. Feel the crystalline energy. It's coming back up your grounding cord and into your silver golden bubble of light. And when you are ready, you may slowly rotate your hands, rotate your feet, stretch and make sure that you're properly back into your body. And when you are, you may slowly open your eyes and come back fully into this moment. And when you're back, You may share what you've experienced in the meditation if you choose to. Hello.
Wow. Everybody back.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to wake anybody up there. That was so powerful. Barbara, thank you. Something clicked when Barbara was saying all the people in her life that have been trying to teach her lesson. And I was sitting here thinking, why don't I have people teaching me lessons? Why do I have people that just don't teach me lessons? And then I thought, well, that can't be true. Surely I must also have a lesson being taught. And yes, then I realized, what the lesson is, and so many things that I've read in my spiritual journey that just made so much sense then all of a sudden. So Barbara, thank you for that aha moment. I've realized that accepting what is, and stop fighting against what is. Stop fighting against this lesson that people are teaching you. Recognize the lesson, and go with it. It's maybe not the lesson that people think they want to teach you, but you take from it what you want. That's what I got out of this. So it's been beautiful. I enjoyed the silence. I enjoyed everything. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Fiona.
Thank you.
Big shift today.
Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa.
I knew there was somebody who had to teach me a lesson. And it was on communication. Oh, why am I like this? It's fine. And I realized that the only one I had to communicate with was with Source, because Source was everybody, and we are all part of Source. So Source knows no boundaries, no countries can separate you, and Source will always give you the full answer of what you needed. So I knew that then we are one, and we only have to listen, as I've said for years, and it's struck home today. If God is speaking to God, we will only hear God. So there's no lack of communication. There can be no misunderstanding if we are listening to God. Okay, so I got that one. Then for some reason or other, my pension came up. Oh my goodness, why is my pension coming up? It is the thought of perhaps something will run out. Okay. But then the thought came, my heritage is from the divine, and the divine never runs out. Okay, that was wonderful. It is not for us to ask how it's going to be done or what's going to be done. And then the picture changed of Jesus standing on the shores of Galilee, and the loaf of bread and the fishes fed thousands. So where are we to wonder where our supply or what comes from? So that was a very lovely thing. And then something else happened. Yes, it was a great realization that there is only Source. The rest we manufacture or bring into our lives, but there is only Source. And there's only Source communicating and supplying if we will only just plug into it instead of plugging into the collective field. But I think I got it loud and clear. Thank you.
Super. Yeah, it's very nice when you can shift that line program of there's scarcity or there's something that can run out.
Yes.
Because that was also something that I needed to remind myself this past 2 weeks. There will be enough. There is enough.
There is enough. And also, there's no lack of communication. So if there is a place for you somewhere, wherever it is, it will be communicated to you. You will be sent there. And the same with the information I'm needing at the moment. Doesn't have to be a yes or a no, which is what I've been getting from this person. It will now be communicated through source, not through person, and I will get the whole truth. So then, whether it comes via that person or not, it doesn't matter. I know it's coming from source. So
trust your intuition and trust the way source brings you the messages. Because we always get the answers. We always get that which we need. It doesn't always come from the people that we wanted, but it does. It comes through dreams, meditations, in the bath, wherever. You'll get the message.
I'll get the message.
So there's nothing that is withheld from you.
So that's
awesome.
That was an unexpected type of message I got today.
You want to say anything?
I was in and out of lots of things. I really appreciated your statement of being grateful for what people do, the gifts they give for us. It's good. There were a couple things I thought I wanted to shift, but actually it was, like Barbara was saying, like we've all been saying, that it's that whole singular pattern. There's been this lifetime and many lifetimes. And I can finally just be grateful for. So I was working on that in the meditation and connecting to the crystalline group was also really lovely. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Anybody else still want to share something? Then I want to thank you all for participating. Thank you for each and every question that you asked. I see Preesh also said just thank you very much for this. So she enjoyed the meditation. So yeah, if you couldn't fully shift it in this one, at least it's recorded and you can listen to it at a later stage and shift it again if you weren't able to participate fully. So it's something that we can keep on releasing and keep on shifting. Wherever you become aware, as Demi says, you think you do good and you're there and then something happens and then you're not there anymore. When that moment comes up, just do this guided meditation again and then conscientize it, shift that. The more we do, the more it's like shackles that we drop and we can rise, and shackles that we drop and we can rise. And may you rise in love and in wisdom and in understanding, and may you set yourself free from all that you have limited yourself with. May peace follow you this week. Lots of blessings. Bye-bye.
To all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.